In the last video we finished up the enclosure, and you may notice there's a little catch here, this little clip. I didn't know if I would need this, but the doors, they stay together pretty well, but I thought, why not go ahead and make a little catch just in case there's some vibration or anything, and the doors want to kind of separate. So I just printed out this little catch. I printed several different designs. This one is one way and one the other, and then I printed one that is both ways. I'm not sure which one's going to work out the best, but pretty nice. They just kind of pop on, and then I can just open the door up. I don't have to worry about them. If I'm running apart, I don't have to worry about the doors wanting to pop open. I can just clip it like so, and that'll keep the door shut. 3D printers proving to come out pretty handy for a lot of different things. This just happens to be one. Now this is a pretty interesting little piece, and I learned a lot printing this out. So I'd like to share some of the stuff that I've learned with just printing out something as simple as a little clip. So let's take a look. Alright, well here we are in Fusion 360, and what I wanted to show you is just how to go about drawing up the clip. Now this is the clip, my last design, and originally I had modeled the clip so that it clipped in both directions. I think that this one's probably the one I'll use. It seems to work best. As you can see, there's only a couple of different features here in the timeline. It's very simple to do. So let me show you how I went about modeling this clip. So first, let me turn this stuff off, and we'll start another sketch right here. So first we want to create a sketch. I'm going to select this bottom plane here. Then I want to go to Sketch, Circle, and my handles happen to be about 0.31 diameter. So I'll draw my first hole at 0.31. Then I'll hit C once again to get circle. And we'll make it 0.6, about double the size. There we go. Next we want to go to Sketch, Rectangle. And we'll go in this bottom box here, up to this one, and then drag it over a ½ inch. Reason being is the distance between my two handles, center on center, is 1 inch. So we're going to make this a ½ inch. Next we're going to go 2-point rectangle. I'm going to select here, drag it down to here. I'm going to hit tab. I'm going to make this 0.188. Then we need to go to Sketch, Rectangle, 3-point rectangle. I'm going to grab right here on this circle and line to right here. We're going to type in 0.188. I'm going to 0.188, click, and then drag down to about here so that it's even between here and here. That looks good. Now I'm going to hit the letter T to trim. And then I'm going to just trim up what I don't need here. Alright. I'll go to Sketch, Mirror. Left click and hold and drag across all of these. Hold Control, pick up this one and this one, and leave this one. Now I'll hit Mirror Line and then select this center line here, and it will mirror what we've already drawn. Okay. Left click, drag across everything to select it. Right click, press pull, and 0.375. I made mine about 3/8 of an inch tall. And there we have our clip. Okay, now that you have your clip made, it's very simple to export this into an STL file. Go to Make, 3D Print. We want to select our model, and then you can make sure that Send to 3D Print utility is not checked. Click OK, and then save the file, whatever name you would like, in your favorite location, and that's all there is to it. Now once we have our model made, we can import this into our 3D Print utility. I happen to use the one that came with the DaVinci Pro, XYZware for Pro. So let's take a look at that. Alright, so here we are in XYZware Pro, and we're just going to, there's really not a lot of stuff you need to do on here. We have our Settings tab, which is just general information, English, what display units you want to use, your printer. I happen to have Steel Blue inserted in the printer at the present time, and your account, that kind of information. I haven't used the object list. This is the print button, the save button. This is the import and export button. So let's import the file we just created. We'll use our door clip. And here it is. Now you can see that it's not oriented correctly, so we're going to go to when your model is selected and it has this white box around it, you get these extra buttons here. If I click here, you can see they go away, but once you select it, then you get these extra buttons. We're going to rotate it. Let's rotate it on the X 90 degrees. And then also, you want to make sure that you land so that it's up against the bottom there. Pretty easy. Now, you can also right click on it and clone it, and then after you have it cloned, you can print more than one at a time, which I like to do because these are pretty small. And we can make sure that that one's landed. And there we have. Now we have two printed here. Pretty simple. Now we want to export this to our printer, but before we do that, when we click this button, we get all these different settings that we can set up. So we have our nozzle temp, and depending on what ABS or PLA or what you're using, I happen to be using ABS. It's stronger. And the particular ABS I'm using likes 220 degrees. Seems to work well. The layer height, I'm using 0.3 or 300 microns. Layer thickness, shell thickness. This is where I had my issues with the first print. But let me just kind of show you. I had it originally set for 3. I had my infill density set for 50%. Speed 30 millimeters per second. No supports needed for this. Now when I export this, it tells you, now that it's exported, it pops up this information screen. It tells you it's going to use 2.343 millimeters of filament. It's going to take 21 minutes to print. It gives you all the information that you put in, so you can kind of double check it. Now you can see that it put the brim around here, which is great. That keeps it secured. But what I want you to notice is these lines here are your shell, and I set the shell thickness to 3 layers, and so it went 1, 2, 3 on each side, which is fine for this straight section. But in this curve, because we did that, it was only able to put one more line in there for our infill, and that's where the problem was created. And let me show you why. You can see here, when the shell thickness is set to 3, that it separates when I bend it, and it's very flexible. But when I set the shell thickness to 1, it gets more infill in there. This is very stiff and very strong, and it works out a lot better. Thought that was pretty interesting, so I thought I'd share that. Now you can see that the shell thickness is only 1 layer, and the rest of this is infill, and that makes for a stronger, more durable piece. Alright, well here we have our clip that we printed out, and as you can see, it's going to keep the doors nice and secure while we're machining, just in case they were able to separate a little bit. With the doors completely closed like this, I don't think I'm going to have any issues with coolant. It'll hit the door and run down, and we do have this nice gap here at the bottom, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. So it was simple enough to print on the 3D printer. If any of you guys are building an enclosure and you have a similar setup and you'd like one of these clips, shoot me an email. It shouldn't be a problem to get one of these printed out for you. So if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to comment. If you're interested in more 3D printing videos, let me know and I'll post when I can. Thumbs up if you like the video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and most importantly, be safe.